This is the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast with Sal and Sam, a new podcast for engaged couples concerned about wedding planning and family expectations but want a stress-free, fun, and unforgettable wedding.
Hi, I'm Sal Fusco of After Hours Events of New England. In my 40 years, I've performed at over 3,500 weddings. Working consistently keeps me in tune with the wedding industry.
Hi, I'm Sam from Atmosphere Productions Disc Jockey Service. I've been DJing since the mid-70s in radio, nightclubs, and thousands of weddings, helping and interacting with hundreds of engaged couples.
Welcome to the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast.
This is an important event for you, so you want to be careful choosing your hair and makeup professionals. From products used to references, it is wise to get answers to some of these important questions.
Availability, cost, and experience are the obvious questions, but what are the deal-breaking questions and red flags you need to know?
Hi, I'm Lauren Simpson from LA Page Makeup and Emerge Cosmetics, and once this edition is over, you'll learn about the right questions to ask and get a hair and makeup professional who understands what you want.
With over 80 years of combined wedding experience and insider information, this is Stress-Free Wedding Planning with your hosts, Sal and Sam. A new podcast for engaged couples who are stressed about wedding planning and family expectations, but want to have a fun wedding. Listen now for revealing wedding insider secrets, tips, and strategy or lesson that you'll be able to implement for a stress-free wedding. Information that you just can't miss and may just change your life. Take the journey with us from worry and concern to a stress-free and unforgettable wedding day. The Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast with Sal and Sam.
Learn more about our experience and journey to help you with stress-free wedding planning and the trailer or pilot of this podcast. In today's edition, the important questions to ask hair and makeup professionals before you book them for your wedding is brought to you in part by Clear Vision Productions and the Wedding Styles of Connecticut wedding shows.
But first, if you have a question or concern, go now to Facebook and join us on the Stress-Free Wedding Planning community and ask away.
You're listening to the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast.
On today's edition, we're going to be discussing those important questions to ask your hair and makeup professional, and we have one such professional here today. It's Lauren. Hi, Lauren.
Hi,
And you're from which company?
LA Page Makeup.
Okay, maybe you can give us your social media.
Sure. So on Instagram, it's LA Page Makeup Official. And then everywhere else like TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, it's just LA Page Makeup and pages with no I in it.
And so we want to make sure that our listeners get the biggest question out of the way first. And one of the big questions we seem to get is, what's the most important question you should ask your hair and makeup before you hire them?
So it's funny because it's so hard to narrow it down because I would argue there's a lot of important stuff, but I would say something that is generally maybe not thought of as much is if your hair and makeup artists are insured.
And what does that mean? Well, what sort of insurance are you referring to?
So liability insurance. So this is important to have because remember, we're going around your head with hot tools. We're working with ingredients that could potentially cause reactions on people and things like that. So you want to just make sure that if they're a real professional, that they have that insurance covered.
Sal and I talk about DJs having liability insurance. You don't often think that your hair and makeup should have it too, but that's an excellent point. And they should provide you, the hair and makeup person should provide that to the customer before they get hired?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that we don't get asked a ton, but like I said, it is, helpful for the client to know. And I'm always happy to provide that information.
Okay, so give us a little bit on your background, Lauren. How did you get started? How did LA Page Makeup get started?
I mean, it all started when I was in high school. This is back when like YouTube was like in its baby days. I just wanted to learn how to do makeup for myself because I didn't have anyone that could really teach me. And so I kind of like got into it and I was self-taught. And a couple years later, I found out that, you could do this professionally, which blew my mind because I knew hairstylists existed. But me personally, I'm not into the hair. And we'll get to that later. But so I ended up the summer before senior year of high school going and getting a makeup certificate from a cosmetology school. And then a couple years later, got a theatrical certificate, which is how I do Halloween makeup, which is really fun.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I just started like networking, building my portfolio, building the business on the side as I still went to college and did all these part-time jobs and stuff. And then I was able to make it full-time in 2016. And I started building the team in 2019, which is how I was able to start offering those hair services for weddings as well. Because like I said, hair is just not my jam. Usually, most people on our team do specialize in one or the other. We have a couple people that do both, but more often you'll find people really like one and really don't like the other. So I was able to start building that. And then here we are today. So it's been a wild ride.
So, Lauren, why should engaged couples use your LA Page makeup?
Basically, everyone on our team has years of experience. There's no one that's really like brand new to this. So we've all been in it, in the beauty world in general, and then in weddings specifically for quite some time. So we kind of know how to handle the day, how to keep track of timing, which is really important, how to keep the vibe good, and obviously, have great skills, time management, and all that kind of stuff. So I would say we just have a good skill set and good vibe going, which I think is super important since we generally are the first vendor of the day.
How many clients can you do in one day?
I mean, that all depends on the factors of the weddings, because if there's a wedding that you only need 2 artists versus a wedding that needs 6 artists, that kind of changes things. So it varies, but in general, we do multiple a day. In general, I would say like 2 to 4 is pretty average.
Okay, that's quite a lot. I mean, you seem to be able to get it done really quickly. Is there a trick to it?
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, this is because I usually at all times have a team of about 12. So it means that we're all like on different weddings at the same time, usually. It's not necessarily like double booking or anything like that. I honestly try to avoid that at all costs because it's such a long day and can kind of create headaches. So usually I try to just book everybody on one wedding per day. And so, I mean, if we're on like 4 weddings, that could be like, 8 to 10 of our artists across weddings.
But isn't that an important factor that a client should ask upfront? How many people will be there to help? And are you doing any other events?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm definitely transparent about that, about how many artists they need for their wedding. I definitely try to focus on the person's wedding that we're talking about versus like everything else, because to be quite honest, I just want you to kind of worry about your own wedding. I'll usually say like once I know the amount of services that need to be done, the timing, the location, all that kind of stuff, I can tell you, okay, yeah, so you're definitely going to have one hairstylist and one makeup artist. And so they know ahead of time, like before even booking, how many artists they have.
Right. So logistically, then you have to work out all this stuff in advance to make sure you're done in time in order for the couple or the bride to head off to their wedding.
Yes. Yeah. So we definitely work backwards timing wise. We need to know ceremony time and or first look time, whichever comes first. And then we like to know when the photographer is going to be there as well. And if they're looking to have some of those like touch-up photos at the end for hair and makeup. And then that way we can kind of calculate when our start time needs to be.
Who goes first when it comes to the makeup? Are you doing the bride first or someone else from the wedding party?
It's definitely not the bride. If anything, the bride we like to do kind of like second to last. So it's around the end. So she's the freshest, but not rushed. Other than that, we're really flexible with who specifically goes. I know that there's other companies that like to do specific timelines. At this point in time, we don't do that. We ask that most, if not everyone, is just present at the start time. And this helps us be able to keep moving so we can just kind of grab, the next person for services, rather than if you put people into certain time slots and then they disappear, it can kind of throw things off. So that's kind of how we do it.
And the traditional ways of putting makeup, maybe using brushes and sponges and things like that. Do you use airbrushes at all?
Yes, we do. We definitely have artists who, some of them prefer the traditional method and some of them prefer the airbrush method. But generally speaking, most of us offer both as an option. And what I like to say is it's always a good idea to have traditional and airbrush as options, because as much as I love airbrush, every now and then the skin type may require a more traditional foundation just to sit better. So it's always a good idea just to have both on hand.
We're going to have some more questions for Lauren from LA Page Makeup when we come back. And in fact, one of the questions is going to be about her line of cosmetics, Emerge Cosmetics.
You're listening to the Stress Free Wedding Planning Podcast.
Wedding Tip Wednesday is brought to you by Emerge Cosmetics. Are you ready to emerge? Our line of lipsticks, lip glosses, and mascaras was created to empower and become who you truly are. Strong, beautiful, and confident. Use the coupon code SF1 at emergecosmetics.com for an instant 10% off. That's coupon code SF1 at emergecosmetics.com. Emerge is the true you.
On today's Wedding Tip Wednesday, don't leave early. Your guests came near and far to see you, the couple, on your wedding day. Not staying the whole time of the reception is just like a slap in the face. Don't expect your guests to continue dancing also after you've left. We have a lot of people that want to do these firework displays, and then they leave and they want the party to continue. Your guests will do the same. They came to see you, so stay. Have fun. Stay until the end. Have a last dance.
Staying to the end is very important. I always tell every couple, you're a magnet. Wherever you go, guess what? Everyone else is going to go. So that's why you have to be careful not to leave the reception too often for pictures, because people are going to try to find you. And when you just leave, well, that's kind of the door for them to leave too. They're not going to stick around because the reason they were there is no longer there anymore. That's another tip from Sal and Sam.
Wedding Tip Wednesday is available on the Stress Free Wedding Planning Facebook group page every Wednesday. Join the group for free.
Do you want access to a stress-free wedding planning process? Then go to our website, allthews.atmosphere-productions.com, and get my free report. 8 questions you must ask a wedding professional before booking them. Get it today. That's allthews.atmosphere-productions.com. Look for the free report and learn to shop like a pro from a pro, and go from concern and worry to stress-free wedding planning.
You said yes. Now the planning begins. The Norwich Inn Bridal Show is a must. Join us on Sunday, April 30th from 11 to 2. Win over $10,000 in grand prizes, a Caribbean giveaway, 3 sets of wedding bands, and $5,000 towards your wedding celebration at the Norwich Inn. Free goodie bags, gourmet food samples, entertainment, and so much more. Sponsored by Atlantic Coast Entertainment, Darius Trepka Photography, Dinner for Two, and the Stress Free Wedding Planning Podcast. Get your tickets at bridalshow@norwichinn.com. That's bridalshow@norwichinn.com.
Don't know what to do for your first dance? Is your future spouse having trouble picking a song to dance with their parent? Worry no more. I have the answer. Go to afterhoursevents.com/contact guest. That is CONTACTGUEST. And you'll be able to listen to hours of music to help you select the right songs for your upcoming wedding. Again, go to afterhoursevents.com/contact guest.
Emerge Cosmetics. Are you ready to emerge?
I love this lipstick. I'm super picky about how a lipstick feels. Most are either too dry feeling or feel like you've oiled your lips. This not only felt great, but lasted and looked great hours later. The color Angelina is perfection, a must-have in my collection.
This is Lauren Simpson from Emerge Cosmetics, a professional makeup artist with over a decade of experience in the beauty industry. That's the reaction we're getting from our luxurious, carefully curated lipsticks, lip glosses, and mascaras that wear well and feel comfortable. These are a must-have for your collection. All products are made in the USA, are cruelty-free, gluten-free, and most are vegan. EmergeCosmetics.com for lipsticks, lip glosses, and mascaras that not only feel great but last for hours in an array of different colors. Free shipping on orders over $100. Use the podcast coupon code SF1 at EmergeCosmetics.com for an instant 10% off. That's coupon code SF1 for 10% off at EmergeCosmetics.com. Emerge as the true you.
And now back to the Stress Free Wedding Planning Podcast.
In today's edition, the important questions to ask hair and makeup professionals before you book them for your wedding. Hi, I'm Sal of After Hours Events of New England, the leader in making your wedding stress-free.
I'm Sam from Atmosphere Productions Disc Jockey Service. Weddings with expert knowledge and the difference in quality.
Hi, I'm Lauren Simpson from LA Page Makeup and Emerge Cosmetics.
And Lauren is our guest today. In the first part, we're talking a little bit about our company and what she does. But I have a big question that I keep hearing a lot about. It is hair and makeup trials. What are they?
So a hair and makeup trial is an appointment that takes place ahead of the wedding day. And this helps you to be able to see on you what the hair and makeup look that you're going for is going to look like. This is also a really good time to get to know your artist. We do only assign whatever artists are assigned to your trial are going to be showing up on your wedding day as well. So you kind of get to know their vibe and get to know each other, and it's a fun time. But this is really the time to try out anything that you're curious about. So if you're not used to wearing makeup and it makes you a little nervous, this is the time to try things, see how far you can go with that. And then maybe we can dial it back if you ended up not liking it. Things like that. It also helps, for example, some people, their hair doesn't hold curl well. So would you rather see how well it's going to hold throughout the day? Or maybe we can try an updo instead. And just things like that. It's a really good time to test out any kind of curiosities you have.
Now, we had spoken a while back, and I had read the suggestion that the bride should do her hair and makeup the same day as she does a dress fitting. If you can plan that, that's a good idea, right? If you can plan it.
Yeah, I mean, we actually just did that last week for someone where it was right before their dress fitting.
Yeah, because you get to see the entire look all in one shot on one day.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really good idea. It's like you said, it's definitely scheduling wise, seeing what can happen. But for the dress fitting is good. We've also had people do their trials ahead of their engagement shoot. So for something like this, if you had maybe a more elaborate updo or something and you don't really want that in your engagement shoot, usually the hairstylist can just kind of take it down into curls so that you're a little bit more casual for the shoot, but at least you were able to see what the look looks like, and then you feel like you're put together for the shoot as well.
That's absolutely perfect. Now, with your business, do you travel to the venue and do you have a travel fee, or is it everything done at your office?
So the studio is where we do trials. So you would come to our Middletown, Connecticut studio to get that done. We typically suggest about 3 to 6 months ahead of the wedding is a really good time. So it's not too far in advance so that you forget, but it's not too close in case you want to make changes or come in again. And then we do travel for the wedding day. Most often we go to homes or hotels because typically venues only allow the couple to be there an hour or two before the wedding, which definitely isn't enough time for all of the hair and makeup services. But every now and then there are venues that do allow you to be there like 5-6 hours, and it's great because they have like a getting ready area for hair and makeup. But we definitely do. We travel throughout the state and the surrounding states, and the travel fee is just calculated based on where you need us to go. It is calculated from our Middletown studio location.
So, Lauren, I understand you have a second company called Emerge Cosmetics. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So Emerge Cosmetics, I created a few years ago to have products that I could basically retail to the bridal parties. That's kind of how it started, because whenever I was working with, bridesmaids and all that, they would ask, they're like, oh, do you have this lip color that I could purchase so I can reapply it throughout the day? And it was either, well, the answer's no, or I have to, resell another brand. So I was like, well, why don't I just create my own? So I went ahead and I did that. It started with lipsticks and lip glosses, since those were the primary products I was looking to do. And since then it's expanded to mascaras, and it's continuing to grow. So it's really exciting.
That's all great information, Lauren. Now, you have something special for our listeners.
Yes. So if you are listening to this podcast, you guys get access to an exclusive coupon code. So that coupon code is SF1, and you use this at emergecosmetics.com for 10% off. You can also get free shipping on any orders $100 or more.
Wow. So that special code again is what?
SF1.
And that's the number one. SF and the number 1.
Yes.
Right. Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate you supporting this podcast. You are the sponsor of our Wedding Tip Wednesday, and we do appreciate that. And another important question that we seem to get couples asking, especially if they're trying to hire hair and makeup, is, do you have a portfolio? I know you have a portfolio, but how do clients get to see that?
Yeah, so our portfolios are in a couple different places. Firstly, we have on the bridal page of our website, you'll see there's a hair portfolio, there's a makeup portfolio, and that kind of encapsulates a bunch of what our team has done for work. And these are professional photos from photographers. Then we have on the Meet the Team page, each individual artist has their own portfolio. So these are more of like taken from the phone photos of what we take ourselves on the day. So you can see an authentic photo that is not edited at all. You get to see how it actually looks in real life, and you get to see kind of how our artists have similar but different kind of styles. So there's that as well. And then lastly, if you go to our Instagram page at LA Page Makeup Official, this is where you kind of get to see more updates, in real time, because the Meet the Team page, I kind of update quarterly, and then the portfolios on the Bridal page, I typically update like yearly. So if you want to stay in the know, seeing our posts, our reels, and our stories on Instagram is definitely where you'll see more in real time photos.
That's all great information, but how does somebody go about booking hair and makeup?
Yeah, so you would go through our website. If you go to our Inquire page, you'll see that there is a form to fill out. And this is really helpful for us because it gives us all the details we need to look into our team's availability. So if you provide, basically the more details you provide, the better. And it provides us with enough information to do less back and forth with you. Things like, what is your date? How many hair and how many makeup services do you need? Do you know about what time you need to be ready? Getting ready location and all the things like that. And then this puts you into our system so that we can get back to you as quickly as possible.
Question I want to ask you, Lauren, is something that many of us in the industry get asked all the time. What is the backup plan? What if you can't make it? Do you have someone to back you up?
Yeah. So like I said, we have a team at any point. It's about an average of 12 people. Every now and then we'll have like 12 to 14 artists. It kind of fluctuates. But so we do have that core team of a good amount of reliable artists. So if any of them are not already booked, then we can definitely call upon them last minute. And this allows us to have that flexibility if necessary. We also have a large network of other hair and makeup artists in the rare event that an emergency happens when our team is fully booked. So we can definitely seek help from them as well.
You've given us some valuable information, everything from portfolios to how to book your makeup. Let's get your social media one more time.
So social media, Instagram is LA Page Makeup Official, and then everywhere else is LA Page Makeup. So Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc. If you are listening to this podcast, you guys get access to an exclusive coupon code. So that coupon code is SF1, and you use this at emergecosmetics.com for 10% off. You can also get free shipping on any orders $100 or more.
Wow. So that special code again is what?
SF1.
And that's the number one. SF and the number one.
Yes.
Thank you for coming by and talking to our listeners about hair and makeup. And, we will hope to have you back to discuss even more topics.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're listening to the Stress Free Wedding Planning Podcast.
So there you have it. We just shared with you the important questions to ask hair and makeup professionals before you book them for your wedding.
Now, as you spend the next week planning your wedding, if you want me, Sam, or our community of stress-free engaged couples and wedding experts to answer any wedding-related questions, join us over in the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Facebook group.
Once you're in, go ahead and share your concerns and worries, and we'll let you know if you're on the right track or if there's something you need to work on. The link to join us is in the show notes of this edition, or go to Facebook and search for the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Community.
Remember, a new edition of the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast is released every Wednesday. Subscribe and get it first. We'll catch you then. Ciao.
Thank you for listening to this edition. If you've enjoyed what you've just listened to, leave a review and share it with a friend or someone who would benefit from this information. So until next time, it's TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
The Stress Free Wedding Planning Podcast is produced and copyrighted by Atmosphere Productions in association with After Hours Events of New England.
Sponsored in part by Clear Vision Productions and the Wedding Styles of Connecticut Wedding Show Series.